You're with BBC Radio Suffolk this Boxing Day. We full commentary of all of Ipswich Town's festive fixtures, and we begin with a clash at Millwall. Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley are at the Den.
So here we are. Today's trip to South London marks the midway point of the season. As we sit here, we've seen 22 of Town's 23 championship opponents, with today's host Millwall the only unknown quantity. And I say unknown quantity, but what we do know is that Lions have taken a lot of people by surprise. A few of us tipped them to be in the playoff places at Christmas, but former Norwich boss Alex Neil has done a terrific job at the Den, albeit a lengthy injury list played a major part in them losing their last two. Now, it has to be a positive for Ipswich, who've arrived here without a win in their last three on the road, taking just 1 point from Oxford, Blackburn and Leicester. And whether you think the Blues need 3, 4 or all 6 points for these last two fixtures of 2025, a win this afternoon would be a lovely post-festivities boost for them. Just waiting for the teams to come out of the tunnel. Mick, where are you on that one? What would you be targeting from these two games over the course of the next few days? This is clearly on paper at least the easier one, Millwall compared to Coventry.
Well, I know that professionally, if 2 points from 2 draws, would be very professional. It would, for me, be job done, but it wouldn't sort of necessarily, improve our league position. It probably would mean that we go down a couple of places, and then people would be a bit disappointed, because that's how our season has been. We have some home games, and then we get points. We go into a great league position. We're in a position to sort of take off, and then all of a sudden we go away from home and things don't sort of turn out quite so well, and then the league position looks a bit more poorly, but here we are, we're reaching the halfway stage this afternoon. If we can win 40 points, it'll be a good return, I think, from the way the first half of the season has panned out, and it would mean that just a slight improvement in the second half would certainly take you in the 80s, which is a good total. Possibly might not quite give you second place, but it would get you very close, But if we don't take anything from these two games, then it looks a little bit disappointing. Then you start doubling that figure of 37, and you start thinking, well, that's the bottom end of the playoffs. So there's a lot to play for. The one thing I'm quite happy with at the moment, Brenna, is that the manager is definitely fielding a fairly consistent lineup, which you'll give to the listeners in a minute. So I'm happy for that. I think he's slowly but surely nailing down what he feels is his first team.
Talking about the second half of the season, which gets underway at Coventry on Monday. By the time we get to the end of the year, as in after the Coventry game on Monday, Town will have travelled to all of the other teams in the top 7 as the league table sits at the moment. You look at that top 7, Town have been to the likes of even QPR, Hull, Preston, by that point Millwall, Coventry, Middlesbrough. So in theory, those remaining fixtures should be a little kinder to Ipswich Town, if only life were that simple, particularly in the English Championship. Right, the teams are out in front of us. Town in all red at the moment have gone across to the left-hand side to say hello to their supporters. 3,000 of them occupying the whole of that stand. The two-tier stand off to our left have followed Ipswich down here this morning for this 1 o'clock kick-off. 2 changes from the Sheffield Wednesday win before Christmas. Hurst is out injured with a groin problem for a few weeks. Eggerly drops to the bench. In come McAteer down the right, and Athon leads the line, preferred to Akpom up top. Walton in goal, still keeping his place, understandably so. At the back four, Furlong, O'Shea, Kipre, Davis. Matthew Siwa, who we just heard from, plays alongside Kiyuste in midfield. A 3 across the park of McAteer, Nunez and Philogene. Athon hoping to add to his 2 goals this season, starting up top. And of course, he did play pretty much 90 minutes against Sheffield Wednesday in the end, didn't he? On the bench, Palmer, Wes Burns. Great to see him involved in a matchday squad for the first time since Anfield back in January. That's terrific for him and the club. Jack Clark, Akpom, Taylor, Young, Greaves, Eggerly, Johnson. 3 changes to the Millwall side that lost 2-0 at Blackburn. Back-to-back defeats for them of late. McNamara, Ballow and Sturge all dropped to the bench. In come Taylor and Bryan to the back line, and Langstaff likely to play in the number 10 role. They play the same system as Town. Crocombe, the New Zealander, is their keeper in all yellow. The back four of Kramer playing at right back, who is a big centre half by trade, but he's playing at right back, we believe, today. Cooper the captain, and Taylor of the centre-halves with the experienced Brian, the left-back. Their two sitters are Mitchell and Doughty. The bigger three of Amaku, Langstaff and Negley. In behind, Ivanovic is serving in his second season in English football. He's on 4 goals this time around. On the bench, Bender is the sub-keeper on loan from Fulham. McNamara, Sturge, Ballo, Leonard, Matthews, Bangura, Williams, Harding and Howland. And whilst I was giving out the teams, the two sides have swapped around ahead of this kick-off. The yellow ball is in the centre of the den. It's obviously a cold afternoon, but lovely conditions for football as well. Bright sunshine, a few clouds overhead. So Town in all red, bar Walton. His lime green kit. He's jogging off into the penalty box off to my right hand side. The Town goalkeeper, they'll be playing from right to left against the dark blue shirts and socks of Millwall with their white shorts in between. And it is the home side who are going to be kicking off. Doughty, the former Luton man, just missed one game in the Premier League for them a couple of years ago, arrived in the summer as the ball is jabbed forward by Taylor, former West Brom man. One at the back by one of Town's former West Brom men, Kipre. Early commanding work from him, and he gets the ball back to Walton. Early touch in the shard of sunshine. Touch forward by Athon. He's going to go after it. Out comes the goalkeeper, Crocombe. Good sweeper keeper work from him. He was a good 10-15 yards outside of his penalty area. Had to get that away from Athon, who had the pace to get away from the centre-backs.
Yeah, Jack Cooper was treading water a little bit, but he did in the end get going, so he might have just won the race before the goalkeeper came out, but it was a dangerous moment for them.
Big and strong at the back, but not a great deal of pace in that back line of Millwall, which Town will be hoping to exploit as Darnell Furlong is charged down on the far side by Amaku. He looks to be playing to the left with Negley to the right of that attacking 3-4 Millwall. Town get the throw into McAteer. He lifts it down through the centre circle to Davis underneath us. Davis forward to Philogene. Philogene controls it. Little back heel from Philogene's excellent to Davis. Lovely play from Town. Davis into the area behind too many players. Cleared away in the end by the number 8 Mitchell. But that was really nice football down the left by Town.
Yeah, that's the understanding they've got. Leif Davis plays the ball to Philogene, and then as Philogene knows that Leif is going to set off, he's going to make that forward run. And although Jayden took a while to get it under control, he knew that as long as he turned that ball into an attacking position, Leif Davis would be in a great spot to take it on.
Philogene trying to get the better of Kramer. In step Doughty. Good challenge from him. Philogene took a tumble. Down the right hand side it's Kramer, the number 4, former Brentford player, all 6'4" of them. Great running, comes his cross. Walton should catch it and does. Don't know if he's known for his flying runs forward like that, Kramer. Certainly he wouldn't do it very often as a centre-half, but he did well there from right back. Matusiwa over halfway to Nunez. It's very open earlier on this game. To McAteer, it's end-to-end. McAteer pulls it square to Matusiwa. Chance for him, far too heavy a touch. In he went there. His man went down. Thankfully he didn't make too much of it. This is like the last few minutes of a cup final. Forward down the left-hand side for Amaku, who's quick but not that quick, and the ball's back with Walton, but both sides having a right old go. Yeah,
without question, they're all looking to almost like you searching for a winner after sort of 90 minutes has been clocked up on the board.
Athon tried to lay it off for Nunez. It went all the way to McAteer far side, who kept it in. There is Nunez, very open it was as well as both sides went forward. Here is Dara O'Shea at the back for Ipswich Town, the captain. Belts it long, trying to mix it up, headed away by the left back Brian, preferred to Sturge for this game. In goes Matusiwa. Strong challenge on him by Mitchell, who came through here. One club man, Billy Mitchell, Millwall through and through, real fans' favourite.
Yeah, he needed to get that tackle right, because if he had been a little bit later than that, that would have been a serious problem. But he timed it right and actually won a throw-in off of Matusiwa.
4-0 the last time Town were here. Millwall were woeful on that occasion. I think it was Joe Edwards. It was sort of, might have been his final game in charge. And the writing was very much on the wall for him. It was nowhere near the sort of standard of performance you expect from a Millwall side here. Town just absolutely steamrolled them. It's their 4th Boxing Day meeting here down the years. Millwall have won the previous 3. Here is Kramer on the right-hand side, pushing it forward for the number 10, Negley. The Algerians onto the ball off to our right-hand side, trying to run away from Kipre, who's gone all the way with Negley. Then bursting forward from the back is Taylor trying to get it into the area, which he manages to do, but gliding across is Leif Davis to step in there for Ipswich and plays it short to Philogene. Town have the ball in the left back area. Davis plays it forward to Athon with a little touch infield to Matu Siwa. Now Kayuste, this is a lovely play from Town. Kayuste just overruns it, goes in a 50-50. One Millwall player sandwiched in between an Ipswich man and his own defender. Negley comes away with the ball down the right for Millwall. Galloping forward is Cooper, the captain. Low ball in from him. The shot towards goal, saved by Walton. Nunez, who turns it away from the D out on the far side. But this is a lively one.
This is a lively one, and this was an amazing situation here. That ball, all of a sudden, was a touch was too heavy by the Town player. The centre half thought, do I go and win it or not? But the problem he had was one of his own players, Langstaff, was in the way of the tackle, and typical of a Millwall player. I don't care if it's one of my teammates, I'm going for it.
Yeah, he did,
and he did.
Cooper, that was. They are so big and strong. You look at the Millwall number 4, 6 and 5 as we look across the park from right back to the two centre halves, all big. Well, at least 6'4" plus lads. 2 of them, and now 3 of them have gone forward for this. What Millwall are hoping is a long throw. Chance. The referee's having a word with Christian Walton, or what was having a word with him. Incidentally, the referee's Tim Robinson, the man who caused all the controversy at Portman Road last year. Now he's coming across the referee.
Might have been lasered or something.
To sort out something or other. Both Kieran McKenna and Alex Neil speaking to the 4th official. Tim Robinson's the chap who didn't give Town the penalty for the Connor Chaplin foul in the box against Leicester last season and sent off Calvin Phillips. At the moment he's just trying to sort stuff out down below.
He was off the pitch and they were playing on. Great stuff.
Tim Robinson, who caused all that controversy then in the Leicester game at Portman Road last year, is back on the field. So it has a nice quiet, uneventful afternoon here. Throw to Millwall, 6 minutes gone, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. It's Doughty. And again, another delay in play. Christian Walton's concerned about something or other off to our right-hand side. Anyway, this has been quite a lengthy break. Referee's blown his whistle. Doughty with a long throw, and it comes to the Ipswich Town area off to our right. Headed into the centre by Kramer, half volleyed away by Philogene in the right place at the right time. The ball bounces for the second time inside the Millwall half. Now in all yellow, it's with Crocombe. In his first season at the club. Crocombe's poor kick only reaches Darnell Furlong, who stretches but touches it out of play far side. Millwall will throw in front of the Dockers stand, the 3 flags flapping around above it. It is a very blowy afternoon. Matu Siwa takes the ball in his chest on the half-while and up to Athon. Athon touches it back, only to Maku, the Irish winger. Poor from the Spaniard. Here come Millwall coming through the centre of the half off to our right, and Maku's carried the ball a fair old way. Matu Siwa brings him down, free kick. And is he going to his back pocket? The referee for Azor Matu Siwa, not yet, but he's had a staring from the referee.
I think the Millwall player did very well. You know, he sort of looked as if he wanted to deliver the ball, and then he realised there was nothing for him to deliver it to, and then he started up again, and he sort of confused Matasiwa slightly. I don't think it was I was surprised that actually a free kick was given, so you know, for him to get a yellow card as well, I'd have been very surprised. But it's a dangerous one. Great position.
Just a free kick, no card so far for Azor Matu Siwa, who's 1 short of a 2-game ban. He's on 9 yellows for the season. It's going to come at some point, one would have thought. It's a free kick to Millwall, which Negley is fancying. So Town have this wall in front of this free kick from Camille Negley. About 23 yards from goal, right of centre, the number 10 for Millwall. Fancies this one to try to break the deadlock this Boxing Day. It's the number 10, gets it up, hits the wall. Poor free kick, deflected out, probably knee height for a throw.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But he all of a sudden, just as he was about to sort of run up, the wall started to jump, and I think that confused him. He then must have thought, can I go underneath? In the end, he did nothing.
Throw in to Millwall. Down their right-hand side, once again it's Doughty who loops this one very poor, but then the back header's going to try and make something of it. Charge down effort which didn't go anywhere, blocked off by Matusiwa accidentally, out to Doughty, left-footed, good ball in, headed down straight at Walton, he's got a lovely left boot, Doughty, good delivery, but the header was straight at the town keeper.
Yeah, it was a good delivery, it was good contact, it was close to Christian Walton, but it just went straight at Christian. Had it been, closer to one of the corners, that could have caused trouble.
Doughty has been playing in central midfield for Millwall. Most of his time at Luton he was a flying left back or left wing back, very attacking fullback. Kiyuste gets away from the half-hearted challenge of Negley, then slides it up to Athon. Athon's touch infield, he's still got it, tries to find McAteer, poor from him. Cleared up towards Amaku. Amaku goes down under a challenge from Furlong, the referee buys it. Free kick to Millwall, still goalless.
Yeah, he looks lively down the left-hand side there, Amaku.
Yeah. Been there 3 years come January, but this has been his sort of breakthrough season in terms of being a regular starter. Adomu Amaku came from Shamrock Rovers, played in all 3 major European competitions for them. Just 22. He's looked a bright player so far in this opening 10 goalless minutes live on BBC Radio Suffolk. It's Brian, the former Bristol City and Fulham left back, who clatters the yellow ball forward up towards one of the big men. It comes off the back of Caleb Taylor's head to the right hand side, and Negley with a left footed ball into the Ipswich area. Good delivery, Kipri heads it on to the roof of the net. A few Millwall fans thought he'd maybe scored an own goal there. He's given away the first corner kick of the afternoon.
Yeah, well, that was a great ball in, a really great ball in, and then when you felt that the Millwall player wasn't quite going to make contact, you thought, oh good, but unfortunately Kipri didn't quite get the forehead on the ball. It just sort of skimmed his head and almost dropped in underneath the crossbar.
Millwall on top at the moment, having a good little spell. 11 minutes gone. This Boxing Day commentary, left-footed corner kick from Doughty, one of the big men, reaches it, great save from Walton. Terrific from the Ipswich Town goalkeeper. It was Caleb Taylor who headed towards goal. It was going in, he needed to stop that, and he did well. Doughty down the left wing, comes off with McAteer, out of play for another throw, which Doughty will probably take, and this is Millwall putting on a bit of pressure.
Yeah, and you can see where their threat is coming from. Set plays and throw-ins, they're good in the air.
As I said there a few moments ago, they've got some giants in the side. Left-footed ball forward by Bryan into the Ipswich area, to the man at the far post. Kramer tucks it back. That was a great chance for him to go direct towards goal. Alex Neil's head's in his hands. The big man got free beyond the far post.
Yeah, he's in a great position.
Millwall play the ball out to the right-hand side. Davis intercepts for Ipswich Town, straight into the hands of the former Norwich manager. Kramer has this throw-in for Millwall. They are going to be such a threat from set pieces. Millwall currently 6th in the table. Ipswich Town 3rd. Trying to go to within a couple of points of Middlesbrough with a win here this afternoon. Middlesbrough host Blackburn later on. Darragh O'Shea just having a little word with Christian Walton. He's just made a good save to keep the score 0-0 here.
Yeah, at the moment Millwall started well. I mean, it was end-to-end to start with, without question, but they've sort of got their physical game going, and I think it is causing a little bit of concern to the Town players.
O'Shea goes route one for Ipswich, but it's Port straight the way through to Crocombe. He's got the ball in his gloves in front of the Ipswich Town fans. Crocombe with a long kick which goes back straight downfield, all the way back to Christian Walton. So as you were 30 seconds ago, really.
Exactly.
Kieran McKenna out, hands in pockets down below us. We'll hear from him later on match day in these first of back-to-back away games for Ipswich Town at the end of 2025. Kipre forward, the ball straight through the centre circle, given straight to Bryan. Here is Amaku trying to take on a couple of players far side, can't get beyond Furlong forward, given away by him, straight to Mitchell tidies up. Town can't get back into this game just yet after a bright enough start. Here is Taylor, came from West Brom, actually had a loan spell, played for Cheltenham against Ipswich Town a few years ago. Ball's out, the challenge involving Philogene for a throw to Ipswich.
Yeah, they've got a feel about them, Millwall, that they've started well and they're pleased with themselves. They're looking sharper, it's more two-touch football, and when they have to close down, they close down with keenness and aggression.
Boos because there's an extra ball on the field, which obviously has to be kicked off as Walton is dealing with that. Off to our right, lack of ball boys or ball girls clearly at the Den this afternoon. Davis has the match ball. He throws it to Matusiwa. His little header down goes to Kramer rather than Kiyuste. Up in the air from the French fullback. Davis calmly strokes the ball down the line to Philogene. Kramer's quickly onto him. Davis picks up the loose ball. Davis with a switch of play looking for McAteer. Nodded down by Bryan to Amaku. In goes Furlong. Town win it back inside the Millwall half. Back to O'Shea on halfway from McAteer. Tight to the far touchline is Nunez. He gets the ball from his captain. Nunez round the back into the area to Furlong. Good play this from Town. Furlong into the middle, driven towards the penalty spot, volleyed away by Kramer. Matusiwa goes up on the back of Negley. The referee says play on. Negley still moaning about that. O'Shea finds Nunez. Better that from Ipswich Town. Here is Nunez again, chipping the ball into the area. Dealt with by Cooper. Pretty much an ever-present for a number of seasons now. Jake Cooper at the back for Millwall, but then he got a little bit risky with his pass to Bryan, and it's out of play for a throw to Town outside the Millwall box.
Yeah, good play by Town. That's nice and aggressive, closing down with real sort of determination, and they made Millwall give that ball away in the end, and we've got a throw in, and it's our chance to hurl the ball into the penalty area.
Darnell Furlong with this throw-in for Ipswich into the Millwall penalty area. 0-0 in the 16th minute of this championship match, and it comes from the former QPR player, headed away by Cooper, nodded out of the area but not fully away until Mitchell makes a challenge, and the ball's diverted to Kieran McKenna underneath us. He'll give it to Leif Davis for a throw. We're still 0-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. The kick of this really busy period for Ipswich Town. Off the back of Coventry, they've then got Oxford at home, Portsmouth away, and then it's the Cup the following week. Then Blackburn, Bristol City at Portman Road. Cooper, left-footed up to halfway, a little bit risky. Good challenge from Furlong, straight in on his man. Here is Marcelino Nunez for Ipswich Town outside the Millwall area, taken down cynically by Cooper. No doubt about that one whatsoever. There's no messing from the centre half, and it's a free kick that the Town supporters behind that goal off to our left would like to see Marcelino Nunez hit.
Yeah, very much so. That was, as you say, it was a deliberate. I mean, he thought, I'm not going to run with him. There's no purpose in it. I'll just body check him.
Davis is there as well, as tends to be the way from these set pieces. It surprised me that Jayden Philogene doesn't fancy striking these dead balls, but it does tend to be either Nunez or Davis.
Block the goalkeeper's view.
Yeah, Town have got a wall behind a wall. It's O'Shea and Furlong.
And it's about 6 or 7 yards behind the wall.
Free kick to Ipswich Town, 17 minutes gone at the Den. It's round about 27 yards from goal, marginally right of centre. Nunez standing hands on hips. It'll be he or Leif Davis. Mr. Robinson, the referee, blows his whistle. It's 0-0. Forward comes Nunez, and he takes it, he gets it up, hits the wall, and goes out behind for Town's first corner kick of the afternoon.
Well, he's surviving. Nunez is surviving the responsibility of taking free kicks. He's hit the wall again, and Leif Davis has been very patiently stood to one side. I think Leif might be trying to say to him sooner or later, I think I can do better than you.
Davis on a corner kick for Ipswich Town over on the far left corner of the Den. Puts his right hand in the air, that's the signal, and he bends the yellow ball headed away from the near post area as far as Nunez hits his shot towards goal. Still bouncing around inside there. Millwall get it away just as McAteer kind of pulled the trigger, but his shot was point blank at a defender. Matusiwa to Nunez, lovely little bit of skill from Nunez down the left-hand side, has left Ivanovic for dead. Nunez comes forward with the ball, right-footed, he crosses into the area, McAteer turns and heads it towards goal. Did well to get it on target from that kind of distance and twisting his neck.
Yeah, brilliant ability on this touchline to get himself going down the touchline and into a bit of space, but we didn't have enough in the box to really carry a threat.
Woeful pass from Taylor, that was terrible. Straight out of play, picked up by Kieran McKenna. Town getting themselves back into this game after Millwall had a little spell. We've yet to see a goal on this Boxing Day Coventry in South London. Matusiwa up against Mitchell, balls off the Millwall man. Davis takes the throw and Matusiwa touches it back to Davis. Davis tries to play it down the line. As a Matusiwa in an interview earlier on saying much he's looking forward to playing on Boxing Day for the first time. It's something he's done in the past in Holland or France. Whereas, of course, Cedric Kipper has done it a number of times down the years, albeit he's on loan from French football. He's done it for the likes of Cardiff and Wigan and West Brom. He's well versed in the hectic Christmas calendar in this country. Matthew Seawer with a head down to Davis, way too heavy a touch from the Geordie, ran straight into Cooper. Doughty showed way too much of the ball to Kiyuste. Athon to Philogene down the left-hand side, now trying to work his way into the Millwall area. A little back heel for Davis, into the middle. Shot from Athon is deflected out wide right to Nunez. Nunez tries to clip it back into the centre, brought down by McAteer. Shot from Athon but belted away by Kramer. Nobody got a clear, concise hit on the ball at any stage in that, sadly. Cooper wins a big header on the edge of his area. Nunez crunches Amaku to the ground and the referee blows up.
That's a silly free kick. The story so far is it was lovely end-to-end football for 5 minutes, then Millwall seemed to have a nice 10-minute spell of their own, and now Town has sort of taken charge a little bit and they're in a nice spell.
Millwall free kick at the back, Cooper to take it. Referee's lenient with not giving him a yellow card as well a few moments ago. Millwall with 6 wins and a draw from their 11 here this season. Both teams heading into this one had won 10 of their first 22 games of the campaign, but Millwall without a win in their last 3, just because they've got so many players missing at the moment. On paper it looked like a decent time to be playing them, really, but they've done well so far, the home team. Matthew Seawer, nice first time layoff to the left hand side. Davis, who plays it down the line to Philogene. Chance to have a run at Kramer, who sits off of him. Philogene still has the ball, looking infield. Nice little bit of trickery from Philogene, pointing to where he wants Davis to go. In the end he gives it to Matthew Seawer. Into the centre circle, O'Shea. Ipswich in all red, 0-0. McAteer coming infield to Kiyuste, who carries the ball on. Good running from the Swede, gets into the area down the right channel, gives it out to the right-sided area, and Nunez. Back it goes to O'Shea. Good possession this from Ipswich Town. O'Shea to Kiyuste. Kiyuste, edge of the area, has a go from the D. Hits it over the bar. Made a decent connection, but off target.
Yeah, that's Kiyuste for you. He does some beautiful work, he really does, but his finishing is never really as good as it should be.
Still goalless live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Remember, it's a 6 o'clock kickoff on Monday. Very, very random, that away game at Coventry. Match day on air from 5:30 for that one. And then Oxford visit on New Year's Day before we're at Portsmouth a week on Sunday, the 4th of January. Header on from Ivanovic, picked up by Matthew Seawer. Philogene then gives it infield to O'Shea. Threw up with us earlier on. Wes Burns on the bench for Ipswich Town this afternoon, which is great to see. He played 76 minutes for the under-21s earlier on in the week. Flag up at the back for an offside against Ipswich Town. Athon replaces Hurst up front. The other change in the lineup, McAteer is in for Egley. Egley's on the bench. Forward from Taylor, going after it is Negley. Walton thought about coming towards the ball. Negley's headed it on beyond Kipper. He's got him behind, but then just didn't know what to do with the ball, and very softly gave it to Walton on his near post pretty much.
Yeah, he did really well, and I thought the goalkeeper was in 2 minds, and that always makes it wrong for the goalkeeper to be in 2 minds, and he should have done better when he actually sort of tried to get the ball into a dangerous area. It was a tame effort in the end.
We've got the better of Kipre before that as well. We're at the midway point of this first half, still waiting for our first Boxing Day goal here, as Matthew Seawer draws in a challenge of Langstaff. Nunez spreads play out to the left, touched away by Kramer, but only to Davis. Leif Davis for Ipswich Town, gives it to Kiyuste in midfield. Square, he finds Furlong. Out to the far side, the Ipswich right, it's McAteer. Now, just north of the centre circle, Dara O'Shea. McAteer, terrible, straight at Mitchell. Mitchell miscontrols it. Furlong shields it out far side 40. Throw in to Ipswich live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Dara O'Shea turns it to his goalkeeper Walton. Walton closed down by Ivanovic, gives it to Matthew Seawer, who had Millwall player Langstaff all over him. Langstaff seems to have run off that early knock when he was challenged by his own player Cooper in his eagerness to get the ball. A little slow down of the game at the moment. The ball up towards Athon, beaten in the air by Cooper. Back comes Doughty in midfield from Millwall to tidy up. Going back to Crocombe. Crocombe clears towards the halfway line, looking for Negley. Negley trying to get the better of Davis. Davis wins the ball. Good work from the fullback. Davis crosses halfway, has Philogene out to the left-hand side. The number 11 now has the ball. Philogene up to the corner. Davis goes down. Philogene shaped to shoot. Eventually tries to get away from Kramer and then have a go at goal. In goes Langstaff. Free kick for the foul by Langstaff on Philogene, and it's in a good place for either Nunez or Davis again.
Yeah, a little bit further out. You know, when you start getting to sort of this sort of distance, this is definitely 30 yards from goals, and it's going to take a really powerful shot. It's got to have good direction, but it's got to have power as well to beat any goalkeeper.
Nunez straight over the ball. But you're right, at some point, if he keeps fluffing these, somebody else is worth a bit of a go, surely. But as we saw at QPR earlier on in the season, he can certainly score from distance from a dead ball. Davis is there again. So it's the 32 Nunez or the 3 Davis. Referee's got the tall Millwall wall inside the D off to our left-hand side. 20 minutes to go until half-time. Max Crocombe, the goalkeeper, shouting and doing a bit of organising. There's a 4-man wall, 2 giant centre-halves in the centre of it. It's a free kick, or at least 31 yards from goal. It's 0-0 as Nunez gets it up. It's on target, but it's fielded low down. It came bouncing down towards his feet, really, Crocombe, and he was behind it and didn't fumble.
No, I just think Nunez from that distance lacks power, I think, you know, and I would have preferred Leif Davis taking that one, certainly.
Here is Langstaff down the left wing for Millwall. Amaku's made a run in front of him. He checks back, and eventually it's Mitchell who has the ball. Gives it to Taylor. Taylor to Kramer near side. Back in field to Mitchell. Mitchell twists away from Nunez, then puts it into the path of Cooper. Still looking for the first goal of this championship fixture. Millwall versus Ipswich. 21 years ago we were here on Boxing Day. It was a 3-1 win for Millwall. Town's only win against Millwall on Boxing Day was at home in 1967. The 3 previous here all ended up in home wins. Negley to the right and Kramer. Millwall coming forward in blue from left to right. Kramer on the right hand side up against Davis. Attempted cross is charged down by Davis. Millwall have a corner kick.
Yeah, and they're just sort of, you know, pushing themselves forward again. Then I'm just looking at Billy Mitchell, and he's probably the most energetic player on the pitch. He's a really keen sort of player to close people down. A very honest player.
Yeah, they love him in this part of the world. Didn't have any loans or anything. Came through the ranks. 177 appearances now for the club. Corner kick to Millwall. This will be a real threat. Doughty's delivery should be good. They've got plenty height in there. Cool. Headed away well by an Ipswich Town defender, because I saw Cooper rise and feared the worst. Millwall have the ball back. Doughty turns it in again. Walton comes a distance. Great hands from him. Good work from the goalkeeper against some real giants there.
Yeah, that's really good play. I mean, he's 10 because it was on maybe an angle. He's 12 yards off his line.
Philogene, as Ipswich Town tried to counter. Jogging into the centre of the Millwall half, gets away from Mitchell. Still Philogene has it, edge of the box, rolls it into the area to McAteer. McAteer with a player overlapping Nunez, read by Cooper and taken away by Jake Cooper. His attempted clearance comes off of McAteer and goes out behind for a goal kick to Millwall.
Yeah, we should have done better again. I think that Jayden sort of was a little bit obsessed, trying to find a little bit of room to get his shot away with his right foot. It was never on, but he did get the ball out to the right-hand side, and that's really where we should have done better.
28 minutes played, still goalless here at the Den. Town with 3 wins in their last 4 here. Just scored 10 goals in those 3 wins. Cleared forward by Crocombe, just over the halfway line. In behind might be Negley. Tried to feed Amaku. Fans were having a whinge, the home fans, about a foul challenge. McAteer's gone down, play continues, and Maku for Millwall inside the Ipswich area, left-footed ball into the middle is attempted but headed away by Furlong. McAteer's back up on his feet and he'll carry the ball away. McAteer with a good ball forward off the outside of his boot to Athon. Athon might be able to get up and get away. No, he can't, because both he and the defender Taylor went to ground. I thought for a second Athon might be able to get up and get onto it, but he couldn't. Now Millwall have Negley down. I don't know quite why somebody from the Millwall bench is pointing and shouting at him. Break and play. Cross comes the referee for a word with his assistant. Negley's suggestion has been grabbed or hit. He wants a word with Leif Davis, does Tim Robinson. Clearly something happened off the ball between the two of them. Davis getting a good talking to.
Yeah, it was a very frantic. I think the referee missed an initial free kick, and then he gave another possible free kick to the advantage of the team that missed the first one. And then I felt from then on he lost the plot a little bit, and then we had this off the ball scene between the right-sided attacking player for Millwall, Negley, and Leif Davis, and I think it was Leif Davis that was probably the guilty man.
It's a free kick now because of that incident. The referee's had a good word with both of them. It's all kind of calmed down. They've shaken hands, the pair, and we move on with a free kick to Millwall. Mr. Robinson, the referee, now chatting to Alfie Doughty as he gets ready to take this free kick. This free kick only 7 yards inside Ipswich Town's half, just underneath us. Millwall playing towards the goal off to our right. 14.5 to go in the first half, still 0-0. Doughty belts his ball forward, should be Walton's comfortably, even in the wind. He was able to catch that without any trouble whatsoever.
Yeah, easy, very, very easy take, completely and utterly overhit. You know, nobody even went in pursuit of the ball.
Oh, Cayuste loses the ball. Doughty can't quite control it. That was a mistake from Town at the back. Doughty down the right-hand side. In comes his cross, headed away by Kipre. Thankfully, nothing came of that.
A mistake by Town, and they nearly seized upon it. The ball was hit in with pace, but it didn't have enough height to beat the sort of near-post defenders of Town.
Town have all 10 red shirts back in the penalty box off to our right, defending this Doughty throw-in for Millwall. It's 0-0 as the number 14 comes forward and loops it up into the box, easily head away by Kipre. His throws haven't been good at all so far. Doughty very looping with little pace. They tend to work if they're flat and fast, those throws. Long ball forward from Bryan, headed off the edge of the Town area by the captain. Nunez tries to get onto it. Nunez loses the ball to Mitchell, but illegally. Free kick. Matusiwa takes it quickly to McAteer. Quick thinking from the Dutchman. Town a 2-on-2. McAteer's run with the ball. He might have to go it alone. In comes a Maku with a challenge. And the ball's come off of McAteer for a goal kick.
Yeah, they're having a word with the referee because you know, you could say that was unfair. He maybe wanted, you know, that free kick to be taken at the right time. He maybe wanted to give an indication for it to be taken, but quite rightly, we went quick and it did carry a threat.
Should have done better. It was good from Matusiwa to get cracking with things, but really, it's an opportunity for McAteer to do more. 13 to go until half-time. Still 0-0 at the Den live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Crookham's clearance. Up goes Matusiwa against Langstaff. Now O'Shea just boots it forward for Town. Bryan wins the header to Mitchell of Millwall. He tries to play it over the top of O'Shea to either Ivanovic or Imaku. Bryan in field, difficult ball for Langstaff to deal with, and steps Matusiwa. And he hooks it back to Walton. Walton controls the ball and goes square inside his own penalty area across the face of his goal to O'Shea. And just a shard of sunshine. Furlong up to the feet of Athon. In goes Cooper on him. Nunez keeps the ball in play, but his hooked pass infield goes straight to Taylor. Taylor, one of the 3 Millwall changes ahead of kick-off. Cooper spots a little gap in midfield, picks out Mitchell. Nunez goes shoulder to shoulder with him, can't win the ball. Bryan down the far touchline to Imaku. Back it goes to Cooper. Cooper tries an ambitious pass up towards Negley, intercepted by Philogene. Negley tries to win it back. He can't do that. Then Davis just tiptoes around Negley, gets to the halfway line, in goes Doughty. Doughty's challenge reaches Kayuste. Ivanovic gets the ball ahead of Kipre. Good play from Ivanovic, feeding Kramer, overlapping down the right-hand side. Back to Ivanovic inside the box. Kayuste goes to try and get him. Ivanovic gets there first and plays it into the middle. But straight at Walton on the near post.
Would he have given a free kick there? I don't know. There was a bit of maybe an early shoulder charge when it wasn't right to do it. Should have maybe been a free kick to Town, but that was pure, aggression, keenness by Millwall to sort of win a ball that wasn't theirs, basically. But in the end, they did win it.
Share the top classic traits that Millwall have always had. That's what makes them successful. That aggression, never say die attitude, get in your face. Mix it up, be direct on occasions. They've also been playing some nice stuff under Alex Neil this season. Yeah, they're always going to battle. Cooper to the halfway line, onto the chest of Ivanovic, who's got a few more touches in recent times. He brings Kramer into play again down the right-hand side. Back comes Philogene to try and do some defending. Kramer takes on Philogene, gets to the byline, right foot across into the middle. It's a good one. Cleared away by Furlong as Amaku went to the ball. Out as far as Mitchell, who lifts the ball over the top of Athon, back to Taylor. Taylor brings it down and gives it to Cooper. There's a makeshift right back. Kramer's done pretty well down this right-hand side in an attacking sense, hasn't he?
Yes, and I was disappointed with Philogene.
So was I.
He almost gave it up.
I was just thinking that as well. It wasn't good at all from Philogene. Doughty trying to put it round the back for the number 17 Langstaff, but it's all the way back to Walton.
Because if the ball had gone out of play quickly after that incident, I think there might have been one or two words coming from the captain and the manager. I think he's having a whisper now, look.
Yeah. Kieran's quite rightly having a word with Jamie Philogene. It's poor, terrible from O'Shea, straight to Doughty, infield towards Negley. Negley for Millwall, 30 yards from goal, left-footed shoots, Walton's behind it. Thank heavens for that. Yet another mistake from Ipswich Town at the back. They're doing them on a fairly regular basis, game to game. You get 2 or 3 clangers each week. Walton to Matusiwa. Back the ball goes to O'Shea. Out of his area he finds Darnell Furlong. He hits Amaku with a pass intended down the line of McAteer. Now Amaku on the ball, gets it to Mitchell. Back to Amaku down the left-hand side. Millwall charging forward. 9 minutes to go until half-time. Amaku taking on and getting the better of Furlong. Good play from him. Into the middle it comes. Then he got the better of McAteer as well. Good running from Adomu Amaku.
Yeah, he did well, and it was Billy Mitchell who just managed to win the ball there and do something with it. He doesn't sort of give up at anything, and he got the ball to Amaku, and Amaku did some great work to get into that dangerous position.
8.5 minutes to go until half-time, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Still 0-0 at the Den. Millwall have a throw-in that Doughty takes into the Ipswich area. It comes. Furlong goes over the top of Amaku. Out the ball goes as far as Bryan. Heavy touch from Bryan, but he gets there ahead of Nunez. Plays it to the left and Doughty. Doughty into the box, miscontrolled by Kramer. Across comes Athon back defending in his own penalty area. Athon goes down very lightly, gets back up to his feet.
Tame,
wasn't it?
Oh,
got away with it there, Athon.
Yeah, I could see some other refs thinking, I'll just take the player's name. It was tame.
Walton with a free kick for Ipswich Town. You can hear what the home crowd thinks about that little passage of play.
And it was on the byline as well.
Yeah, Walton's taken this free kick, or trying to take this free kick, 10 yards further forward from where the incident happened. The referee doesn't seem overly bothered as the wind picks up at the Den. Left-footed forward from Walton. Around about 7 minutes to see a first half goal here. That's what's to go in the first period. Nunez finds Philogene. Maybe now. Davis wide left outside the Millwall area. First time Town have come forward for a little while. Ball goes back to Kayuste, who looks up. Goes square to Matusiwa. He in the end has to go back to O'Shea in the centre circle. Darnell Furlong back once again with O'Shea. Quickly infield to Kayuste. Millwall have got everybody behind the ball. The ball pretty much on the centre spot now. O'Shea stands, waits, eventually gets it to Kayuste. He lays it off to Cedric Kipre, a goal scorer last weekend. Here's another one, Philogene finding O'Shea. Philogene's back in the ball in central midfield. Square to Darnell Furlong. On the far touchline, the Ipswich right, Casey McAteer. 0-0 as McAteer runs in field, gets away from Maku. Goes square to Kipre. Kipre has a chance to surge forward. The big defender's into the box. He goes square to Philogene. Cleared away though by Millwall. Langstaff finds Negley. Negley puts his left foot through the ball. Reaches halfway, but only Dara O'Shea, who controls it. Town with a little bit of possession at the end of this first half. Davis can't keep the ball in play. Throw to Millwall.
Yeah, it looked out of play there, and the linesman's perfect view. They have a lovely view of those situations, and it's a throw into Millwall. But this has been a nice lively encounter. You know, it's fluctuated really, you know, from one side having a sort of
Kipre with a shove in the back of Ivanovic. The referee played an advantage. Mitchell's all over Nunez, trying to get the ball back to Furlong. It evades him, but he'll retreat and get on it before Amaku can do any damage, and feed it back to Walton comfortably enough in the end. Walton holds on to the ball.
I think the referee now has missed enough things to anger the Millwall crowd, so he's not going to be very popular, this boy.
Furlong forward, but headed down by Bryan. Infield from Amaku. Mitchell in some space. Tries to find Negley. Poor ball though from Mitchell. Intercepted by Philogene. Doesn't need a second invitation to run forward. Philogene, edge of the area, gets inside the box. Might try and go the whole way, but cleared away by Crookham, the goalkeeper, in the end. And then belted with both feet off the floor, kung fu style, to halfway by Negley. O'Shea takes it off of Amaku. Dara O'Shea down the right hand side of the Millwall area. Nunez with the ball in field to McAteer. Back to goal. Finds Kayuste outside the penalty area. He rolls it to the left hand side, and Leif Davis. Davis looks up, low ball into the box towards McAteer, who miscontrols it, and it's out behind.
Oh, that was a heavy touch by McAteer. I don't think the ball from Leif Davis was overhit. I think it was nice and firm. It was along the ground. I think McAteer's got to just kill it, you know, with his first touch and then do something, you know, but just heavy touch, goal kick.
4 minutes to go until half time. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Still 0-0 between these two sides. Crookham with this goal kick for Millwall. Been very little in the way of saves from either goalkeeper really so far in this game. Header on, trying to get Negley in behind. Across comes O'Shea. Kipre robbed by Doughty, but the ball's out of play for a throw to Ipswich at left back as Kieran McKenna comes and settles back into his seat down below us.
I think there have been one or two shots that have got through to the goalkeepers, but they've always been sort of fairly tame and almost right at the keeper. I think it's when the balls go down the sides for both teams really, and the cross comes in, that both teams look the more threatening.
That's true. As Davis controls and loops to halfway. Athon's taken one right to the back of his head from Cooper, who doesn't take prisoners in those kind of situations. No. Athon really felt that.
No, he doesn't.
He's a big man, Jake Cooper. Really strong and forceful. Credit to Athon for getting up. He's in an almighty battle. George Hurst's probably thinking, oh, I'm all right missing this one this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's not a bad one to miss up against these, well, three at the back if you throw Kramer in there, but Kramer's done well at right back. Furlong gives the ball to McAteer, who didn't have enough pitch to do what he wanted to do with it. He wanted to just dummy it and run onto the ball far side. It's out of play for a throw to the home side. 2.5 to go in the first half. There'll be a little bit of added on time.
Yeah, it's a close contest, it really is, and you know, I've just had a quick look at the stats and they sort of pretty much reflect that, you know, right the way through, and when you're actually watching it live, that's what it tells you, you know, that both teams are sort of evenly matched, both teams have had good moments, both teams have had one or two scares.
Both teams in the top 6 of the championship table at the start of play. Mitchell wins a header above Nunez. Nunez then flicks it on into open ground far side. Across goes Taylor. Taylor gets there, spins and clears. Matusiwa intercepts, headed away then by Cooper. Matusiwa again wins it, this time over the top of Langstaff. Furlong takes the ball in his chest, shows a little bit of composure, and then turns it back to Dara O'Shea. O'Shea ambles up towards the centre circle, gives it to Kayuste and then gets it back. O'Shea along the deck finds Furlong far side. Furlong high down the right flank to Nunez. Lovely control from Nunez. Took that ball very well up against Mitchell. Mitchell concedes a corner kick to Ipswich, only the second of the half.
Yeah, it was a lovely early run by Nunez to go from a central position on a diagonal run towards the right touchline, towards the corner flag area. And it gave Darnell Furlong every chance to hit him, and he hit him well, and we've won a corner from it.
Final minute of the first half, when 0-0 at the Den. Ipswich Town have a corner kick. Marcelino Nunez in front of the big screen over in the far left corner with it. It's an away swinger for Ipswich Town towards O'Shea, met by Cooper. Back to Nunez. Nunez then volleys it in. Great improvisation from him. Lovely ball in, actually. Connected to by a blue player, though. Millwall get it away. Here come Town again. Philogene to the overlapping Davis. Davis with a lovely ball to the far post. An important header from Bryan, but the referee's seen something in the box. There was a Millwall defender being impeded. Free kick to the Lions.
Yeah, good stuff there. First ball that you said that he improvised, Nunez. That was an improvised sort of effort. Beautiful volley cross into the box, loads of pace, anything could have happened. And then when Lee Davis got the ball on this other side here, on the left side, he's fired a good ball in, but somebody's committed a foul on the back post there. But two good moments again by playing down the sides.
About 10 seconds away from being told how much added on time there's going to be at the end of this goalless first half, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Just the one, largely for that moment when the referee came across to this near side, when it was all very confusing. Free kick to Millwall on halfway. Doughty is going to be taking it. Seems to be their set-piece specialist, whether it be throw-ins or free kicks or corners. Alfie Doughty. Doughty down the line to Amaku, trying to catch Ipswich Town off guard. They weren't fully concentrated. Amaku comes in field, has a shot along the deck, blocked off by Matusiwa. Headed by McAteer, then out of the area by Matusiwa. Flag is up against Millwall. Free kick to Town at the back, and a lot of fans believe that they're not going to see a first half, or they're not going to miss a first half goal if they head for some refreshments now.
I think the refreshments are more important. They're really moving out with great sort of bit of pace, bit of determination.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah, look, they mean business.
Must be good refreshments here at Millwall.
Yeah.
Well, forming a queue as we speak. That's it, according to my watch, for the end of the 46th minute. And Mr. Robinson agrees. It's 0-0 at half-time at the Den, Mick Mills.
Yeah, it's good, even contest. It'll only open up obviously if one team collapses a little bit, and that might just create a gulf. But at the moment, because neither team is sort of really conceding a good opportunity to their opponent, then it's really, really tight. And obviously at 0-0, I think Millwall have retained their enthusiasm. They're probably, from their point of view, they're looking at the fact that they're playing a team that everybody says has got a massive squad, possibly the best squad in the division, and possibly felt this would be a tough game. And the fact they're holding those opponents, that's given them a lift, and they've actually gone right through the half playing with great spirit and a lot of belief. Town pretty much the same. They will probably feel that the fact they haven't conceded any great chances to Millwall, that they've got a chance, and they've had enough moments in the attacking section to suggest that they could score on the day. So both teams are playing with belief, enthusiasm, togetherness, and it's created this tight match. But it definitely has fluctuated. I mean, we had that opening spell, it was real end-to-end stuff, for an opening 5-minute spell. And then, you had where Millwall took charge, then we saw that spell off, and then we took charge, and that's how it's gone right the way through. Is it going to be one of those games that the first goal, if there is a first goal, is going to mean so much as far as the result is concerned? It is a possibility. It either is going to be that, or both teams are going to show the discipline they're showing at the moment, and this is going to be the result right the way through to the end. But often, you do get where one team sort of either creates the perfect chance or the other team, gifts one, and somebody takes that one goal lead, and I think if there is one team out there that can take a lead, I think they probably ultimately might win it. It's that tight.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I can see this being a 1-0 either way, or maybe a draw. It has been very, very tight this first half here at the Den. So far, between Millwall and Ipswich Town, we're yet to see a goalless Boxing Day.
Just under an hour has been played in the other lunchtime kickoff in the Championship at St Andrews, where there has been a goal, a Derby County goal. They lead 1-0. Patrick Agimang in the 27th minute of that one. Joe Ward also sent off for Derby in the first half of that one, but they are hanging on as things stand. They're up to 7th in the live Championship table. We'll look ahead to the 3 o'clock kickoffs and tonight in the Premier League and bring you highlights from a crazy opening day, the 4th Ashes Test at the MCG during our half-time break.
BBC Radio Suffolk.
The Soul Man is back.
The John Leach Soul Show.
This weekend I've got 4 hours of classic soul anthems. We'll look back at some of the biggest soul moments of 2025, pay tribute to the soul artists we lost, and celebrate some legendary Motown icons.
The John Leach Soul Show.
Saturday the 27th of December from 2.
On BBC Radio Suffolk.
10 to 2, you are with Match Day this Boxing Day. I'm Graham Mack. I'm with you through until 6 this evening. After our main feature is done at the Den, we'll be looking back at some of Suffolk sporting highlights for 2025. Then Brenna Woolley and Mick Mills with a Blue Hour special recorded at the Suffolk Show earlier this year. That's from 6 through till 7. You can hear those programmes on BBC Sounds as well if you're listening online. So Town are goalless away at Millwall. Second half on the way shortly. In the other Championship lunchtime kickoff, Derby County 1 up away at Birmingham City. Derby also down to 10 men. 9 3 o'clock kickoffs, including leaders Coventry at home to a Swansea team that have won 3 of the last 4. Second in the table, Middlesbrough at home to Blackburn. Borough aiming to return to winning ways after a first defeat since Kim Hellberg became their manager last time out at Bristol City. Hull in 4th. We'll be going for 4 wins in a row today at Sheffield Wednesday. Preston 5th are unbeaten in 6 matches and are away at Stoke. For Norwich this Boxing Day, it's a home match with Charlton. If the Canaries drop points today and Portsmouth get a rare win at home to QPR, then Norwich will definitely end the year in the bottom 3. No non-league action of note locally this Boxing Day, but just looking ahead to tomorrow, Leiston will face county rivals Needham Market at Victory Road in the Southern Premier League Central Division. Just 2 points separate the Market men, who are 5th in the table, from the Blues, who are 8th and have also played 1 game fewer. Another all-Suffolk clash in the Central Division tomorrow as AFC Sudbury host Bury Town. Sudbury are in the relegation zone but have been in good form of late and are now just 3 points from safety. Bury are currently 5 clear of the bottom 4. In the Isthmian North Division tomorrow, leaders Felixstowe Walter United travel to Lowestoft Town. Newmarket Town welcome Redbridge. Mildenhall Town visit Downham, and Brantham Athletic are at home to Brightlingsea. There's also a full programme of fixtures tomorrow in the Thurlow Nunn League. Just 1 game in the Premier League tonight as Manchester United face Newcastle United at Old Trafford. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Man United head coach Ruben Amorim has been talking about the January transfer window and says he's not willing to let any players leave the club next month unless replacements come in. Kobe Mainu and Joshua Zirkzee are both keen for chances to play more regularly during the second half of the season. Mainu still wants to go out on loan. Zirkzee's been linked with a return to Italy. However, even when his squad is bolstered in the middle of next month by the return to fitness of skipper Bruno Fernandes and Brian Mbeumo, Amorim does not believe there are enough players in his squad to cope with a reduction in numbers, given some members are away at the Africa Cup of Nations.
Even with the full squad, we are shorter for something that can happen here, and we are a club with a big responsibility. We are dealing with all these issues, and in your heads, in my head, in everybody's head, we need to win every game. It doesn't matter, there is no excuses. So it's going to be hard for someone to leave the club if we don't get a substitution.
Newcastle's Eddie Howe says their stadium and training ground plans are in limbo and it's almost certain he'll never see them realised as manager. The club are looking to expand or build a new stadium as well as improve their training facilities, but their chief executive says it will be many years before any changes.
It has to be right. So I think if there is extra time taken to make sure we make the right decisions, and so the stadium project is correct, then take the extra time. It's the same on the training ground. So you need the right site, you need the right designs, etc., etc. So I know that there's a 99.9% chance that I'm not going to see either, in my position, but I'm still passionate about making sure it's there.
Away from football, the first day of the fourth Ashes Test was looking good for England fans for a while.
Tongue bowls and he's forward. He's caught it, second slip. He'll be on a hat-trick in the second innings. Brooke has taken the catch. Tongue takes 5 for 45. They're all out for 152. Thanks for coming since lunch breaks. It's happened very, very quickly. And Australia dismissed inside 50 overs, 45.2 overs for 152.
In reply, though, England could only muster 110 as Australia's bowlers took advantage of a difficult pitch.
Ballooning up in the air towards mid-on, and Duckett is out.
He bowls to Bethel, though he's caught behind. Bowls to Crawley, he's caught. England are 8 for 3.
And his Root nicking that through to the keeper. The catch is claimed, and Root's on his way, I think.
And hits the pad and a pill for LBW. He's out. Here's Boland in. He's bowled. Oh, he's ripped right through him.
Jacks is he caught behind. There's an appeal for a catch behind. He's been given out, and that's edged and caught a second slip. Stokes is out.
Swung into the leg side. Catch it, they shout. Boland is underneath it. Takes the catch.
Oh, he's bowled him. It's all over, and England have been bowled out for 110.
Yeah, awful days cricket for England once again, I'm afraid, all out for 110. Australia added 4 more runs to lead by 46 at the close. Let's get more from the MCG and hear from one of the England bowlers at least, Josh Tongue, who took 5 Aussie wickets. He's been speaking to the BBC's Henry Moran.
Well, Josh, how on earth do you begin to unpick that day?
It's obviously a crazy day of Test match cricket. Obviously winning the toss and bowling to bowl them out for 1/5 or whatever it was. I thought as a bowling unit was outstanding. It's obviously a tricky pitch to bat on. They've obviously bowled well as well, but we come back tomorrow fighting.
Talk to me about this surface, because it does seem to be doing quite a lot.
Yeah, I think there was about 10 mil of grass on it this morning. Obviously that green tinge going through the middle. And we just felt like that sort of, well, me personally, that fuller length where I mostly get my wickets was going to benefit me and the team. And yeah, we just tried to make sure we hit the pitch as hard as we could if we did get that fuller length. So we felt like if you got that just short of a length, it just stuck in the pitch a tiny bit. So just being brave with your length, but still hitting the pitch hard.
Match position, it's barely time to digest it, but you're not out of this, England.
No, not at all. They lead by, 50? We come back refreshed tonight, come back tomorrow morning, get a few quick bowls, and you never know, we can get them 3 or 4 down in that first hour. Just what happened today. So I think we just got to make sure we stick to what we did today and bring that tomorrow.
What was the chat between innings in terms of how things were going to be approached? Was there a sense of being slightly bolder and braver with the batting? Because it looked like that.
Yeah, I think it depends on the individual, how they see what fits in that situation. I thought how Brookie batted was very good on that pitch. Got valuable runs down there, and obviously Gus at the end as well when I was batting with him. So I think just sort of judging when you're out there, see where your scoring options are and go from there.
Josh Tongue speaking to Henry Moran after day 1 of the 4th Ashes Test. A reminder, Australia leading by 46 at the close of play after 20 wickets fell on that opening day. We'll be back at the Den in just a moment, ahead of the second half of Ipswich Town's Boxing Day clash at Millwall, currently goalless in horse racing. Fact to File and Gaelic Warrior head the hopefuls for the King George VI chase at Kempton. Today it goes at 2:30. The duo trained by Willie Mullins are set to meet again after Gaelic Warrior narrowly beat his stablemate at Punchestown last month.
McAteer He lifts it down through the centre circle to Davis underneath us. Davis forward to Philogene. Philogene controls it. Little back heel from Philogene's excellent to Davis. Lovely play from Town. Davis into the area behind too many players. Cleared away in the end by the number 8 Mitchell, but that was really nice football down the left by Town. Negley comes away with the ball down the right for Millwall. Galloping forward is Cooper, the captain. Low ball in from him. The shot towards goal saved by Walton. Nunez, who turns it away from the D out on the far side, but this is a lively one. Doughty loops this one very poor, but then the back header's going to try and make something of it. Charge down effort, which didn't go anywhere. Blocked off by Matusiwa accidentally. Out to Doughty. Doughty left-footed, good ball in. Headed down straight at Walton. He's got a lovely left boot, Doughty. Good delivery, but the header was straight at the Town keeper. Left-footed corner kick from Doughty. One of the big men reaches it. Great save from Walton. Terrific from the Ipswich Town goalkeeper. It was Caleb Taylor who headed towards goal. It was going in. He needed to stop that, and he did well. Davis on a corner kick for Ipswich Town over on the far left corner of the Den. It's his right hand in the air, that's the signal. And he bends the yellow ball, headed away from the near post area as far as Nunez hits his shot towards goal. Still bouncing around inside there. Millwall get it away just as McAteer kind of pulled the trigger, but his shot was point blank at a defender. McAteer coming infield to Kiyuste, who carries the ball on. Good running from the Swede, gets into the area down the right channel, gives it out to the right-sided area, and Nunez. Back it goes to O'Shea. Good possession this from Ipswich Town. O'Shea to Kiyuste. Kiyuste, edge of the area, has a go from the D. Hits it over the bar. Made a decent connection, but off target. Millwall charging forward. 9 minutes to go until half-time. Amaku taking on and getting the better of Furlong. Good play from him. Into the middle it comes. Then he got the better of McAteer as well. Good running from Adomu Amaku.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Babs. Take care, see you soon.
It's annoying when you just catch the end of an interview.
Thank you very much for coming on and with your insights.
Or you have to turn the radio off when you get to work.
Shh.
And there's so many interesting things, but you just can't hear them all.
Richard and I sat down to chat earlier this week about his journey into art.
We've spoken about jollof rice. I know it makes a feature a lot on this show.
You know when you think, why was I so stupid?
Then why not use BBC Sounds? You can listen again to all our programmes, hear the best bits of the day, or catch up with what you've missed. Download the app and take us with you wherever you go. BBC Radio Suffolk.
You are with Match Day at full second half commentary of Ipswich Town away at Millwall on the way in just a moment. There's been another goal at St Andrews. Jack Robinson with it. So Birmingham City 1, Derby County 1, and we've got 20 minutes plus stoppages to go in that one. Agyemang had put Derby in front before Joe Ward was sent off for the away side, and like I say, Birmingham have just levelled through Jack Robinson. So 1-1, 20 plus stoppages to go. We'll keep tabs on the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Championship as well. We're with you right the way through until 6 o'clock. Let's go back to the Den and rejoin Mick Mills and first Brenna Woolley ahead of the second half. Town goalless at Millwall.
And Town are out ahead of the home side, although Millwall now are appearing from the tunnel down below us. Yeah, goalless here so far, ahead of the second 45 minutes. Town in all red, playing from left to right, so their fans are behind the goal, which Christian Walton is currently in, off to our left-hand side. Couple of changes from the Sheffield Wednesday win. Hurst out injured, Egley drops to the bench, and have come McAteer and Athon. So Walton, who I mentioned, is in goal. Back for a Furlong, O'Shea, Kipre, Davis, and Matusiwa alongside Kiyuste, and it's McAteer, Nunez and Philogene in behind Athon. On the bench, Palmer, Burns, Clark, Jack Clark that is, Akpom, Taylor, Young, Greaves, Egley, Johnson. Millwall have Crocombe in all yellow in the goal off to our right. His back four is Kramer, Taylor, Cooper the captain and Bryan. Then it's Mitchell and Doughty in midfield. Then a three of Negley down the right, Langstaff in the middle and Maku down the left. Ivanovic up front on the bench for the home team. Bender, McNamara, Sturge, Ballow, Leonard, Matthews, Bangura, Williams, Harding and Howland. It's Marcelino Nunez who gets the ball rolling back to Dara O'Shea, who immediately clouts it out to the far side. The Ipswich left in the second half. It's headed out of play by a Millwall defender, and it's going to be a throw in which Leif Davis will take for Ipswich Town against this Millwall side who've beaten Watford, West Brom, Stoke, Leicester, Sheffield Wednesday and Southampton here this season. A couple of big name victories there, as well as one or two others you might expect. It was actually a 97th minute winner against Southampton when they won that particular game 3-2 not that long ago. Kipre with his gloves on at the back for Ipswich Town gives the ball back to O'Shea as a few late returners come back from their half-time refreshments. Kayuste finds Matusiwa, holds the ball off well against Langstaff. Matusiwa finds Nunez to the right-hand side. Makatia outside the Millwall box, gets inside the area. Left-footed cross, headed away by Kramer. 8 yards out, nodded forward by Kayuste, but easily taken down by Kramer. The Frenchman tries to find Ivanovic, but straight at Kipre. Kipre is on the ball. Town trying to start the second half with a bit of vim and vigour. Back the ball goes. It's hit the referee as Kipre tried to find Matusiwa, so play will be halted and Ipswich Town will be given the ball because it dropped nicely for Millwall. Some very straightforward saves for two keepers in that first half. One really good one from Walton, actually, from a header from Cooper, but beyond that, the goalkeeper overly tested as Furlong gives the ball to Nunez down the right-hand side. It is the same 22 players that started this game are out there now. Furlong to O'Shea. O'Shea to Philogene, who offered himself up in a central midfield area. Philogene then finds Nunez, the number 32, to the right-hand side. Makatir again on the ball, outside of the Millwall box, taking on Bryan, getting to the byline, dinging his cross deep to the far post. Davis is waiting, headed down by Kramer. Picked up by Philogene inside the Millwall penalty area. Standing with the ball between his feet, gives it to Kipre. Kipre has a go, blocked off. That was travelling. Crocombe went down to make the save. It didn't reach him, it came off one of his defenders. Town have started the second half well. O'Shea gives it to Matusiwa. Now Kipre to Davis. Davis coming in field for Ipswich Town. Now Dara O'Shea. All the play in the half off to our right-hand side. That's the half being defended by Millwall as their fans try to get behind them. Furlong back to O'Shea. The wind playing a part. Kipre. Leaf Davis, controlled well by him. Philogene on the far touchline, trying to skip away from Doughty. The ball's come off of Philogene last, and that's gone out for a throw-in to Millwall. Philogene throwing the ball down in frustration. Referee wants a word with Jayden Philogene. Is he going to get a yellow card for that? That's so stupid. I guess by the letter of the law, is going to get a yellow card, Jayden Philogene, for that. First one of the afternoon. Well, that's absolute daftness from Philogene to have got his first yellow card of the season in such a manner, Mick. We'll switch your microphone on, Mick, so we can hear you. Is
that easier? Yeah.
It helps.
Mine, sometimes it's better with it off, I think.
Belted forward by Millwall. Flag has stayed down. Awkward bounce for O'Shea to deal with. Langstaff challenges Kipre. And eventually the ball goes back to Walton in his 6-yard area.
Yeah, I think he deliberately threw the ball down in anger, Philogene, and then tried to camouflage it, and the referee said, no, I'm not having that. You were angered about my decision, so you're going in the book.
Stupid. O'Shea to halfway, and Kayuste. Mitchell's after him. Kayuste gets the ball out to the far side, and Davis finds Matusiwa just on the edge of the centre circle. 0-0 live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Your thoughts very welcome after this. 0800 141 2121 is the phone number, or text 81333. Start those messages SFK. WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Also pop SFK at the start of those. Forward from O'Shea towards Athon. Athon chests it down to Makatir. Back to Athon just outside the Millwall area. Gives it to Philogene in the box. Philogene on his right foot, then his left. Tries to take it to the byline. Held up by Kramer. Behind him and available is Leif Davis. Davis then gives it back to Philogene. Philogene's right-footed low cross in is gobbled up by Taylor. His clearance is more up than away. Philogene challenges Kramer. Kramer goes to ground, free kick at the back to Millwall.
Yeah, they obviously, with half a season gone, that people are really getting used to Philogene coming in on his right foot, and they really are working hard to sort of prevent it now, so he's not really, throughout today he hasn't really been able to sort of get some daylight where he can hit that bender to the far corner, so a lot of his threat so far has been taken out of this game.
Still goalless as Crocombe takes this free kick in his penalty area off to our right-hand side. They were unbeaten in 6 successive Boxing Day fixtures, Millwall, until Norwich beat them on the 26th of December last year. And actually they started the season by winning at Carrow Road this time around, albeit everyone was winning at Carrow Road in those days. 9th successive season at this level. Finished 8th 4 times, never quite managed to finish in the playoffs. 35 years since they were last in the Premier League, but a couple of seasons at the highest level. Millwall actually just before it became at the Premiership, as was the old Division 1. Furlong up to halfway, and Maku gets back at him, but Furlong finds McAteer one-on-one with Bryan down the Ipswich right. McAteer comes in field, has a go left-footed, blocked off by Cooper. Quite some sizable blockade that Cooper can form. Matusiwa hooks it forward to McAteer. McAteer heads it in field. Nunez challenged by Mitchell. As O'Shea challenges Ivanovic, Alex Neil pleads with a 4th official, suggesting it was a foul by O'Shea on Ivanovic, and the referee belatedly agrees. Free kick to Millwall.
I didn't think he had given the free kick to start with.
Me neither. I don't think he had.
He just sort of changed his mind. I don't know why he did that, really, the referee.
Alex Neil.
This is a little bit.
Kieran McKenna.
This is a rest for Millwall because they've had to defend ever since half-time, really.
Free kick on halfway, played short. Doughty gets it back from Bryant. Doughty looks up, left-footed delivery. Infield it goes towards Cooper, edge of the box. Cooper with a head down to the D, then half volley clipped away off the outside of Furlong's right boot into the centre circle. Bryant has to judge that one because it's really swirly with wind inside the Den this afternoon. Very nippy. Hopefully Town fans have got their new hats and scarves and gloves on off to our left-hand side. It's that kind of afternoon as Taylor wins a header. And the ball's out far side for a throw to Ipswich Town. Town fans, of course, will be keeping an eye on the 3 o'clock kickoffs to see if the likes of Middlesbrough and Coventry can extend their advantage over Ipswich. If Town don't manage to get all 3 points from this, as the atmosphere has increased at the Den. Poor touch from Davis, played off of him by Negley. Throw to Millwall far side. Can be a very atmospheric ground, nowhere near full to capacity this afternoon, particularly in that stand opposite us, the Dockers stand. Lots of empty light blue faded seats. Athon with a header down to Cooper. Cooper up in the air into the Ipswich half, one in the air by O'Shea. Cooper again heads it forward for Millwall. Kiyuste for Ipswich. Bryan tries to nod it down, it's like head tennis over halfway. Eventually the ball's back on the grass. Matusiwa goes back to Dara O'Shea. Along the floor to Furlong. Furlong forward down this right-hand touchline. A little header down at field from Bryan was a risky one. Mitchell won the challenge against Athon, who's gone down in a lot of pain, holding his right ankle, I think. Ivan Athon. Play continues. Referee's broken up play, so Athon can get some treatment.
Yeah, he looks in a bad way.
He's in quite a bit of pain. It's a strong challenge on him by Mitchell. That by the Ipswich Town physio prime, but I think Athon's going to be okay to get back up. I was a little bit surprised the referee stopped play. Kieran McKenna moaning to the 4th official about something or other. Still Kieran's very unimpressed. It's a little bit messy at the moment. Athon's up and on his feet and okay to carry on. The referee now speaking to Dara O'Shea as the Ipswich Town captain. Jake Cooper holds on to O'Shea's shirt, which he didn't like. Can't quite understand what this is all about.
No.
He's telling Athon to go off, but he's not been treated by a physio, so I don't see why he has to go off. He can't understand it, nor can I. So Town for 30 seconds down to 10 men. And this is wrong, isn't it? Surely. This referee does confuse games. They talk about football being a simple game, but it doesn't seem to be the case when Mr. Robinson's in charge.
I can't work this out.
No, neither can I. Different if you'd been treated.
I'm trying to, but I can't.
Totally different. We'd understand the rule if the Ipswich Town physios had been on the field. They hadn't. At no stage there were there more than 23 people out there on the field of play. Oh. Now there's another free kick, this time for a challenge on McAteer. Athon's still off the field, incidentally. Thankfully nothing's happened. Nothing negative's happened whilst Town have been a man light anyway. Furlong goes back to O'Shea. It'll be interesting to see what happens if a Millwall player goes down, isn't treated, if they're forced to go off with 30 seconds. Anyway, we're still goalless on BBC Radio Suffolk. Cooper gets the better of Athon in the air. Wonder when we'll see Chuba Akpom replace Athon, which is almost certain to happen at some stage, and whether Akpom will start on Monday at Coventry. Mitchell finds Langstaff, trying to put it over the top for Negley, headed away by Davis. Ivanovic has a shot which Walton has to get down quickly to. He wasn't ready for that. In the end, he made the stop. Came from nowhere, that effort on goal. Walton did well in the end. Millwall have the ball, buoyed by that effort. Poor pass from Mitchell, straight at Leif Davis, who tucked in from fullback, now running into the centre circle to Nunez. In comes the challenge of Doherty, which the referee is incensed. Millwall fans, they're going berserk around about us. He's given a free kick against Doughty for the challenge on Nunez.
Yeah, I said first half he was on the line, as far as the Millwall supporters are concerned. He's now stepped over it.
Yeah, that was fine for me as well. Anyway, Town have played on with that free kick. 12 minutes gone in the second half. Still goalless. In this first of relatively 4 quick-fire league games for Town. Furlong, lovely ball down the right-hand side over the top to McAteer. McAteer into the middle. Athon has 2 bites at it. Neither can be turned towards goal. And it's out behind for a goal kick to Crocombe.
Yeah, there's a nice ball down the sides there from our boys, and that's a decent ball in. Almost got the perfect connection for it to sort of be diverted in the back of the net. Decent start for Town.
Town have got Egerly, Akpom, Clark and Taylor all out near side. Fair chance we'll see at least 3 of them as the half progresses. We're still 2.5 minutes shy of the hour mark on BBC Radio Suffolk. Kipre misjudges that ball. Ivanovic for Millwall to the right hand side with Negley. Negley's got runners in front of him. He comes infield, left-footed, chops in across to the middle, missed by Furlong. The back header towards goal was from Amaku, straight at Walton.
Yeah, that was okay, decent attack, but Town have actually had the upper hand so far in this half. We're sort of 12 minutes into the half, and we've seen very little of Millwall really. It's not been an end-to-end game in this period.
Oh, terrible from O'Shea, straight to Langstaff for Millwall. Town have got plenty of players back now. Doughty for the home seat. In goes Matusiwa. Doughty forward towards a shot, well saved by Walton. The flag had gone up against Langstaff, much to Dara O'Shea's relief.
Awful mistake by Dara O'Shea, but that was definitely offside. It looked as if it was a lovely ball in, and it looked as if it was a terrific strike that Walton managed to save, but he had wandered offside.
13.5 gone after the break. Our next full match commentary on BBC Radio Suffolk. Coverage starts on matchday at 5:30 on Monday the 29th. Throw away to Coventry. First team we'll see twice this season. Town try to immediately grab their first double of the campaign, having beaten Frank Lampard's side a few weeks ago at Portman Road. It's going to be a tough game that though. O'Shea to Athon. Athon's touch a bit heavy, but he's held on to the ball. He's done well in the Ellen. Athon gets it to McAteer, good spot on field to Kiyuste. Kiyuste's header goes on. Kramer nods it out of his area. Mitchell spins. Kiyuste beats him in the air, but Langstaff gets an important touch. Millwall with Negley trying to break forward the home team. In goes Matusiwa as Negley dilly-dallied on the ball too long. Kiyuste to Leif Davis for Ipswich Town. Ball into the area. It's behind both Athon and Nunez. Picked up by McAteer, wide right outside the Millwall area. Back it goes to Darnell Furlong. Furlong to O'Shea. Still waiting for the first goal of the afternoon this Boxing Day. McAteer to Nunez. Kiyuste's made a run. Nunez tries to pick out the Swede. Kiyuste touches it, but touches it out behind as he's been well shepherded by Doughty.
Yeah, they've defended well right the way through the game, actually, Millwall. They sort of it didn't have an awful lot of defending to do in the first half, but they're being tested out now, and they are standing up to it quite well.
Just the one clean sheet in the last 27 away league games, but they've got one at the moment anyway. Not that we're counting our chickens, with a good 30 minutes plus still to go. That was the recent win at Hull, as Crocombe comes forward and right-footed. just reaches halfway, but Kayuste heads it forward for Ipswich. Cooper's there at the back for Millwall. He knocks it over the top, but the town defenders should get back and be able to deal with this. But the best of touches from O'Shea, who's robbed by Langstaff. O'Shea bites back at him before Langstaff could settle and fully find his balance. O'Shea down the line, but away from Philogene. Throw into Millwall, who've got a little bit of wind in their sails at the moment.
Yeah, a little bit sort of lackadaisical at the back there again, but this should never really be a Millwall throw-in into our penalty area. We should have dealt with that situation.
Doughty with this throw-in for Millwall. So far, his supposed long throws haven't been very good at all. What can he do from this one? In it comes. Plenty height in there for Millwall. Over the top of Kipre. There's a Millwall player went to ground, tried to play it to a teammate, said he found Kipre. Kipre then belted it against Taylor. And that's a throw to goal kick. To Christian Walton.
Yeah, we haven't dealt with that perfectly because the ball actually hit the ground before anybody touched it from a long throw, which shouldn't really happen, but nothing came of it.
Walton gives the ball to Kipre. Kipre passes it to the far side, and Philogene tried to flick it on, poor from Philogene. Kramer has taken Philogene to the cleaners. Kramer, edge of the area, great run this from the right back, who continues to have a good game, all things considered. Out to the left-hand side from Brian, finding Amaku. Amaku wants to roll away from Furlong. Furlong was too good for that. He's found Nunez. Nunez to Kayuste. Kayuste running forward. He's just overrun it all the way to Jake Cooper. Cooper out to the left side for Amaku.
He's offside.
Who's caught out with a flag far side. Speaking to someone at half-time that coaches Jayden Philogene's younger brother at Tottenham, and said real similarities between the two of them in terms of their style of play, as Kayuste goes back towards Dara O'Shea. O'Shea square finds Kipre. Still no way of knowing which way this one is going to go. Kipre down the line to Philogene. Appeals for offside, not given. Philogene comes infield on his right foot. We know what's coming. He hits it. Saved by Crookham. Almost spilt at the feet of Athon, but regrouped and held on to it in the end. Crookham quickly gets the ball towards Bryan, up against McAteer. Bryan plays it forward, but only to Christian Walton, who's out of his area at right back.
Well, we're definitely in charge of the second half at the moment. Millwall are not really carrying an awful lot of threat when they get it into our half, and Town, it's just a question of them maybe just being patient, waiting for the opportunity to come.
O'Shea was a bit risky with his first attempt to ball to Matussi, where all he could do is stretch and get it back to him. Davis to Philogene, running forward, threatening this could be for Millwall, but ran into Mitchell. Mitchell skipped away from Kayuste. Likewise, Athon, shaped to play it forward, eventually gets it back to his goalkeeper. The home crowd would like that. Crookham hits halfway. Ivanovic tries to head the ball on. Underneath it, behind him is O'Shea for Ipswich, then brought down by Taylor. Colleague at centre-half is Cooper. Town bringing on Akpom and Eggerly. Amanku goes down, free kick on halfway for Millwall. Jack Clark down there as well, not quite, not at the moment. Off goes McAteer, and he's replaced by Sindrawalla Eggerly. And the other change is indeed Athon going off to be replaced by Chuba Akpom, being booed by the home crowd.
Well, they're the two that have been given an opportunity today, a rare opportunity really, and you've got to say they haven't really taken it. McAteer's not taken his rare opportunity to start a game, and Asson, who's come in to replace Hurst, he hasn't really taken the opportunity.
Forward from Doughty, headed on by Cooper into the Ipswich area. Kramer gets round the back of Davis and hooks it across the face of goal. He's done very well. The volleyed effort from Amaku is way off target.
Well, the cross did what he needed it to do, was to actually keep it away from the centre halves. It sort of hit the back post. I think Furlong wasn't sure whether to sort of deal with it or not, and in the end Matthew's got to put a volley away, which could have been very, very dangerous.
Wonderful. Still see Wes Burns as this game progresses. Perhaps when Nunez comes off. Maybe Egerly in the 10, perhaps. Clark's likely to be the next sub, one would have thought. Akpom getting up towards Philogene. Philogene had drifted into the central striker's role behind Akpom there, but Millwall blocked it off. They were alert at the back, and Crookham clears first time onto the forehead of Kipre. One at the back by Taylor. Millwall on halfway. There'll still be a big threat from any set pieces they can get in the remainder of this game. Just 4 corner kicks, 2 each so far in this game. Haven't had many opportunities to test Ipswich Town aerially. Knocked forward by Furlong, but straight back to Crookham. Underarm, he gives it to Caleb Taylor. Taylor out to the left-hand side looking for Maku. It's a decent battle between he and Furlong. Furlong's header finds Egerly. Egerly pops it back to his right back. Furlong infield to O'Shea. Flying in goes Taylor on Kiyuste. Ivanovic trying to get the better of O'Shea, which he's managed to do, and he stumped it to Maku inside the Ipswich area. Taking on Furlong, then went down very lightly, but he's quickly up on his feet, didn't make much of it. To his credit, Egerly loses the ball to Doughty. Free kick, says the referee, for a foul by Doughty, who has a rueful smile on his face.
I think Maku could go in the book sooner or later. He really does sort of try and con the referee. That was definitely a con, trying to get a penalty there.
Quarter of this game to go live on BBC Radio Suffolk. After this time, they've got Coventry away, Oxford at home, Portsmouth away, and the rest of this sort of Christmas New Year list of fixtures. Nunez running through midfield, tries to find Philogene, not enough on the ball, almost short by Kramer, back to his keeper. Crookham in the end almost revived the chance for Town. Ivanovic wins a header on halfway, but played it off an Ipswich Town player. The Reds of Ipswich are back on it with Kiyuste. Kiyuste finds Davis on the left-hand side. Back come Millwall. Philogene has the ball for Ipswich Town. Thought about crossing into the centre, and he's gone back out to the left to Davis, far side into the box looking for Philogene. It might run to Akpom. Akpom turns, goes down. The ball's with Philogene inside the area to the byline. He still has it, sits a couple of players down. Still Philogene, saved by Crookham on his near post. Unlucky that for Jayden Philogene.
Yeah, got himself into a good position. Plenty of power on the shot. Keeper did well in the end.
There's a clearance from Mitchell, belts against Kiyuste and goes straight back to Crookham. He did. He was one way, then the other, feint after dummy, after twist, after turn, and he got his shot away. He was unlucky, Philogene. He's still cursing his luck far side by the looks of things. 68.5 played. Still no goals this Boxing Day at the Dan. As we said before kick-off, without a number of players who would definitely be in this 20-man squad, and probably at least 3, 4 or maybe as many as 5 would have started this game if they'd been available, but either suspended in the case of Aziz or out injured in the case of several others, as O'Shea plays in Kipre with 3 or 4 big strides, gets up to the halfway line, then he feeds it to the far side. Davis, the left back, he comes in field and goes square to Nunez out to the right, and Egerly just on as a sub. The Norwegian gets into the box, still Egerly tries to ping it towards the far stick. Philogene brings it down, gets away from Kramer, cleared away by Crookham. Davis will go after this, so to Negley. Davis has kept the ball in play. Yes, he has, despite Millwall protests to the contrary. Kipre barging his way forward. Kipre into the area, gives it to Philogene with those quick feet of his. Philogene still has the ball, tries to play it square, but then it's just belted away by Maku. Controlled by Davis and turned in field for O'Shea inside the Ipswich Town half. More changes are coming from the Town bench. I think Taylor and Clark are both coming on.
Yeah, this is definitely a good spell for Town.
Kipre finds Egerly. Egerly to the edge of the area, has a go and pulls it wide into the side netting.
Yeah, he's improved things out here already, Egerly. We were actually getting better down the right-hand side from half-time, so it was coming together, but he's just added to it. You know, he's come on for McAteer, and it's become much more lively down this side. And Philogene,
he's off now for Clark.
He's improving as well. He's going off.
Clark is coming on for Philogene, and Taylor is coming on for Kiyuste. 20 minutes to go in this game. Surprised in terms of Philogene?
Philogene's coming off?
Yep.
Yeah, I am surprised. Yeah, I thought he was coming into it. He's just got a couple of shots away. Sometimes I think managers are thinking, at a certain spell of the game, I'm going to do this and do that. And although I think Philogene has picked his game up, him and Davis have looked pretty good going down that side, and we've looked pretty good going down the right. I think it was a time for leaving it alone.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised as well. I agree on Philogene. Change for Millwall there first. Actually, it's going to be a double change. Maku is going off to be replaced by Ballo, who's a similar type of player for Chelsea youngster, the Austrian international, Tierno Ballo, who play in one of those wide attacking areas. And Ryan Leonard is coming on in midfield for Billy Mitchell, who's just back after a bit of an injury. So some fresh legs in midfield. Ryan Leonard, who's been here for a long old while, can play just about anywhere in defence or midfield. He's going into the centre of the park alongside Doughty, which is where he played when he was a club record signing from Sheffield United. So a little break and play for those 4 changes, 2 per side. Town have got one more change up their sleeve with Young, Greaves, Johnson and Burns still available. It will be interesting if it's the Burns for Nunez one. Clark heads it onto the chest of Doughty. Doughty out onto the far side, of course. More goals than any other sub in the Championship, Jack Clark. It'd be nice to think he could add to his tally of 5 from the bench here this afternoon and give Ipswich Town an extra couple of points from this fixture. Still goalless, 72 minutes gone at the Den. This 1 o'clock kickoff live on BBC Radio Suffolk afterwards. 0800 141 2121 if you want to chat to Graham and Mick. O'Shea up to Clark. Clark gets the ball back after a brief interception by Taylor. Clark running forward, gets into trouble, but then Taylor's on the ball for Ipswich. Jack Taylor gives it away to Kramer. Nice play from Kramer, the right back. Gets beyond a couple of players and Matusiwa. This is quite some run. Couldn't get beyond Kipre. It's a good, strong, fair challenge by Cedric Kipre. Kipre brings it up to the halfway line for Ipswich Town. Kipre trying to put it in behind by Akpom. He continues to do well, Kramer, doesn't he?
Amazing. He doesn't look like a fullback, and he looks as if he's not particularly quick, but when he gets going, he leaves people for dead.
Here is Ballo, brought down by Furlong. It's very light in the challenge. Ballo. Furlong doesn't complain. That's a free kick inside their half to Millwall. 17 minutes to go for either of these sides to go on and win this game. Crocombe smacks the ball downfield. Comes off Negley for Taylor. Taylor challenged illegally by Kramer. Free kick. Doughty unimpressed with that decision from the referee. Cliff Davis on this free kick for Ipswich Town, just inside the Millwall half. Goes back to Kipre. The 59th meeting between these two sides, only the second time they've ever played on a Friday. The last time was Boxing Day 1986 here. Matusiwa gives it to Nunez. Down the line, Egley. Egley showed too much of the ball to Bryan. It's out of play for a throw to Darnell Furlong. As they're intently watching on is Alex Neil. And we'll hear from Kieran McKenna before off air with Matchday at 6. Furlong's beaten by Doughty. Another foul decision goes against Doughty, who punches the ball in frustration. He'd be hoping the referee didn't spot that, bearing in mind he booked Philogene in the first half for a similar reaction. Nunez, close to this touchline on the right-hand side, midway inside the Millwall half. Everything to his left, he's looking forward. Town attacking the goal off to our right-hand side as Nunez sizes up his options in red in the centre. Forward comes the Chile and it's 0-0. Doesn't beat the first man. Chested down by Doughty, edge of the area. He loops his clearance down the line. Ballo has got pace. He's trying to get there ahead of Nunez. Nunez just got there in time. Headed away from centre-back area by Matusiwa. O'Shea's caught late by Doughty. Nunez takes the ball on his chest. Infield to Taylor, the substitute. Clark wants it on the left-hand side. Clark has it outside the Millwall area on his right foot. Fancies a go if he can find room. In the end, he gives it to Nunez. Nunez trying to get a little ball threaded through to Akpom. Millwall get it away through Cooper. Not very far. Only as far as Furlong. Furlong to Eggly of Ipswich Town inside the Millwall area, trying to take on his man. He beats Brian. In comes his centre, but it's cleared away by Leonard before Nunez could do anything. Well won by O'Shea. Matthew Siwa to the right hand side for Eggly, running into the Millwall area. One thing in his mind, he blasts his shot across the face of goal and out the other end.
Yeah, I think it was an attempted shot, but it in the end looked more like a cross because it was that far wide of the back post there. He should have done an awful lot better there. He had loads of space, got complete control of the ball. He's got to do better.
14 to go in this championship match, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. There'll be news of the other 3 o'clock kickoffs in the championship with Graham after this one has finished. Match day on air, extended match day. We're on air at 12:30 right through till 6 o'clock this afternoon. Birmingham against Derby did finish 1-1. That was the 12:30 kickoff. It's a bit of spoil shared in that East Midlands West Midlands derby. There is the ball being picked up by Langstaff, trying to get Kramer away again. Clark, infield for Ipswich to Matthew Siwa, who stretched, controlled it. Furlong along the floor to Eggly. Like at Blackburn, could he have a late positive say in this game, the Norwegian? Seen plenty of the ball. Eggly to Nunez, wide right outside the area. First time attempted cross, pings off the knees of Leonard and goes out behind for the first corner kick of the second half to either side.
Yeah, we're definitely the better side in this second half. Nunez is sort of just pretty much settled there for a corner kick. He didn't seem to try and evade the player at all with that, and we've got a good chance now. The chance of Millwall scoring a goal is getting more and more remote, and it's more and more likely that Town can score.
Fingers crossed. Davis on this corner kick off to our right hand side. Cold Blow Lane end, appropriately named given the conditions this afternoon here in South London. It's 0-0. Davis with this left-footed in swinger, looks decent delivery, headed away by Kramer, twisting his neck. It's out on the far side for a throw to Ipswich Town. In the absence of Jens Kajusted, I don't think anybody's decided who's going to take this. Oh. Leif Davis is the answer eventually. Alex Neil has a chat to one of his staff. Davis with a short throw in to Taylor, back to Davis. He runs the ball into the centre eventually, or runs it to the dead ball line. Cleared away by Millwall, out as far as Taylor. Taylor shimmies, then left-footed in comes his cross towards Eggly, headed away by Brian. Nodded forward by Kipre to the edge of the area. Up goes Furlong, challenging with Ballo. Nunez heads the ball out to the right-hand side, and Eggly square to Taylor. Now Cedric Kipre, left-footed ball into the box from him, looks a decent one, headed away well by the player Cooper, and then sliced onto the roof of the net from just outside the box by Nunez.
Yeah, we've just got to really create that good opportunity and put it in the back of the net, to win this game. I just feel that we're doing enough to win it, but we've got to create that good opportunity. We're definitely, as far as Millwall are concerned, it's really spasmodic the amount of times they sort of threaten the Town box now, whereas in the first half this was very, very even, Stephen.
Final 11 minutes on BBC Radio Suffolk. O'Shea takes charge in the air. Akpom, who's yet to get into this game, mistimed his jump on halfway. The ball's off the back of Negley's head, but Ipswich get it back to the goalkeeper Walton. Walton first time, left-footed, belts it down the field. One off to our right-hand side by Brian. Furlong to Eggly, in steps Ballo back defending. Cooper's on the ball, a reverse pass from Cooper, finds the experienced Leonard in midfield. Now Doughty shields it away from Akpom. Well, we'll have it with Cooper. Kieran McKenna with his coat zipped right up to his chin, understandably underneath us, watching on, arms folded. Matthew Siwa to Taylor. Taylor crosses halfway, driving forward with the ball. Lovely ball to Clark if he can control it. Well, he's controlled it not as he would have wished, but Clark still has the ball inside the Millwall area. Checks, then plays the ball centrally towards Akpom, who stretches but can't make it. That's turned out behind by Brian Akpom, very, very close to making contact, and if he had, it might well have been 1-0.
Yeah, certainly if he had made contact he would have scored, but the left full-back he wasn't really truly aware what was around him, because once Akpom had missed the ball there was no need to give the corner kick away at all.
Corner kick to Ipswich. Nunez on it. He's already got 6 assists this season. Can this be a 7th? And maybe a vital one, as we're into the final 10 minutes of this so far goalless game. Forward he comes. Low one in from him. Hit towards goal. No, blocked off by a Millwall player. It was Dara O'Shea who had the effort. Davis touches it down into the Millwall box. Collected by Taylor. That's Caleb Taylor. His long legs, he's quickly up to the halfway line, tries to put it through to Langstaff. It's Negley, goes round Walton. Millwall are going to score! But the flag has gone up. The celebrations will have to stop. Millwall fans hugging each other, jumping on one another in front of us, but it's still 0-0. The run from Negley was misjudged, and Ipswich Town have a free kick in their half.
They're going to have to stop this late raising of the flag. It's a joke. I mean, that is going to anger a lot of people sooner or later. It really is. I mean, the group in front of us, they've celebrated the goal, they've got their backs to the game when the linesman eventually puts his flag up. But why are they so late? I don't understand it.
Changes for Millwall. Rais Bangura-Williams has come on, and also Zach Sturge. Sturge is a left back. Bangura-Williams tends to be a wide player, so Brian has gone off, and Negley, who just put the ball into the net after going round Christian Walton, for it to be disallowed. That was their final piece of action. 8 minutes to go as Cooper blocks off that intended pass for Ipswich Town. And Millwall fashion another chance like that. Ballow's knocked down off the ball, right at the feet of Kieran McKenna. The referee wants a word with Darnell Furlong. He's got a yellow card, his 4th of the season.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Nunez coming into this area here to get the ball and deliver it forward is really going to sort of help the team. I like him to be a little bit further forward.
It has livened Millwall up, that sense of injustice, and also the fact they've had the ball in the back of the net. It's given them hope of going on and doing it again and winning this game. So cold at the Den as Doughty plays the ball into the Ipswich area. Big leap from one of their tall men. Jack Taylor should clear it away from Ivanovic, and out it goes on this near side. But what Town don't want to be doing is giving Millwall a chance to put balls into their box in this remaining 7 minutes. Sturge to Cooper. Cooper goes back to Crocombe. Crocombe right-footed out to the far side, looking for Kramer. It's gone over the top of him. Leif Davis has a throw-in. Afterwards, 0800 141 2121. If you want to chat to Graham and Mick while I go downstairs and speak to Kieran McKenna, and hopefully an Ipswich Town player as well off the back of this one. Throw-in for Town, which Davis will be taken. If it stays like this, we've just got to hope that Blackburn and Swansea do Ipswich Town favours later on when they play against Coventry and Middlesbrough. Furlong to the right hand side, and Egley up against Sturge, the substitute. Egley goes back to Furlong. Town about to make another change. It's Wes Burns coming on. Furlong on the right hand side gets his cross into the box, headed away by Cooper, and as far as Egley. Egley back to Matusiwa. There is Taylor, Jack Taylor that is, ran into Doughty. Matusiwa forward for Furlong. Furlong's done well to find Egley. Egley's attempted cross closed down by Sturge. And as far as Matusiwa, O'Shea square on halfway to Kipre, who applauds the ball from his captain before it arrives at his feet. Kipre's now carried it forward 20-30 yards. On the left hand side, Leif Davis. Back it goes to Jack Taylor. He's found O'Shea behind him. We're into the final 5 minutes. We're going to get some late drama. Matusiwa to the right hand side. Egley outside the Millwall area up against Ballo, turns it back to Furlong. Ipswich Town toying with Millwall at the moment. Nobody getting the ball forward. Eventually Egley does knock it into the area. Should be dealt with by Kramer. Headed away only as far as Jack Taylor. Taylor of Town tried to find room for a shot. Then he dinks the ball over the top to Egley, who'd made a good run but can't get on it. It's out behind and Egley's gone head over heels. Wow. Hopefully he's okay. He's up on his feet and that's good to see. And it's a goal kick to Millwall with 4.5 minutes to go.
You get 4 10s for the acrobatics.
It's good. Yeah, his feet were up in the air for a long old while. A lovely moment for Ipswich Town and their supporters, but particularly for the player. Wes Burns gets a warm pat on his back from Kieran McKenna. Wes Burns returns to first team action for Ipswich Town for the first time in almost a year. We haven't seen him in senior action since Anfield back in January. He replaces Marcelino Nunez for the final 4 minutes of this game.
With Egerly going to number 10, which is his one desire ultimately. And Wes Burns in his usual position as the wide right attacker.
Terrific to see Wes Burns back, headed on for Millwall. Millwall have the ball with Bangura Williams, challenged illegally by Taylor. Free kick to Millwall. Centrally, it's in a shooting area rather than one from which they're directly going to be able to find any of the big men, but Ivanovic seems to really fancy this. So far he's not really had a sight of goal in this match. With 3 minutes to go, he's going to have one now from a set piece. Doughty also there, which isn't a big surprise.
Well, it's a 28-yarder, so it needs pace and accuracy.
Referee's dragging the Ipswich Town wall back to pretty much the edge of Christian Walton's penalty box. 3 minutes to go. At a cold and windy Den this Boxing Day afternoon, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. No goals so far after 87.5 minutes now of this encounter. Free kick to Millwall, 28 yards from goal. Doughty and Ivanovic, potential match winners for the Lions. Doughty comes forward, hits it into the wall, knocked up in the air by Cooper, headed away by Matusiwa as far as Bangura Williams, then cleared again by Matusiwa. Terrific work from him in amongst the centre halves. Played forward by Sturge, back header from Ivanovic is good. Langstaff's after this. Walton comes to the ball and makes it, and out underarm he gives it to Davis. Both sides understandably believing they can go on and win this. Terrible from Davis, that pass nowhere near Clark. Out of play far side for a throw into Millwall. Caleb Taylor gives it to Cooper. Cooper along the floor finds Sturge, who came through at Chelsea. Well, actually started at Brighton. Chelsea then took him on, Zach Sturge, and arrived here in the summer. Ballo is down, getting an apology from Darnell Furlong. Alex Neil speaking to the fourth official about that challenge. Here comes Sturge with this throw in for Millwall. 90 seconds before we're told how much added on time there is going to be. Infield from Doughty, finding Caleb Taylor. Jack Clark's after him. Taylor brings the ball away. That was a foul on him by Leonard. Good refereeing, he's played the advantage. Clark running forward, evades one challenge which was aimed at bringing him down. Now the referee has halted play for that foul on Clark. That was Caleb Taylor making up for his earlier mistake. And now Town have a free kick within shooting range.
Yep. You can do what you like with this one. It's got an angle for a little cross over the top of the defensive line, or you could have a pop from this distance.
Yellow card there for Leonard of Millwall. So Millwall have had a chance to win this one from the free kick. Now it's Ipswich Town's turn. Davis is on it. Players forward en masse for Ipswich Town in red off to our right hand side. He has the option of going directly for goal or trying to pick out O'Shea. Akpom's in there. Kipper is lending his height to the challenge. Taylor there as well on as a sub. That is pretty much it for the 90 minutes played at the Den. Ipswich Town are going to start the added on time the 3 minutes of added on time with a Leif Davis free kick outside the Millwall area. At the moment he looks like he's going to try and float it in for a teammate. He's got his hand in the air, that's the signal. Yes, that's what he's done. In it comes. Brave from the head of O'Shea going towards the boot of Cooper. The ball goes back to Crookham. So we're into the 3 added on minutes. Crookham with a quick kick trying to get Ivanovic away against Matusiwa. Too much on it. The ball goes all the way through to Walton.
Yeah, that's a shame that, really. That was a good possibility from the free kick, and we just didn't quite get it right. So this is a tense finish.
O'Shea to Jack Taylor. Back to Dara O'Shea. Now Jack Clark trying to get away on the halfway line from Kramer. Kramer steps in then, takes the ball off of Clark. Going forward down that far touchline. Kramer bundling his way down. He's managed to keep the ball in against Clark. He gets his cross in, albeit it's deflected. Sliced up by Kipre. Hasn't got it away too far. Bangura Williams infield to Egley. Egley clears up to the halfway line. Kieran McKenna has a little bit of a curse down below us. Frustrated. Leonard back to Cooper. Cooper up in the air to the far side. Kramer rises, headed down by Davis to Clark of Ipswich. Davis is on his bike overlapping far side. Clark is running field on a diagonal. He's now in the centre of the Millwall half. He gives it out to the left hand side to Davis, flags up. What a waste. What a waste from Ipswich Town's perspective. There's so many players forward.
Leaf should not, he's looking along the line. He should not stand in an offside position.
Very poor. And in the middle you had Egley, Akpom, Burns was getting forward as well. Yeah, really spoiled a really good situation for Ipswich Town there. Just overly eager, really, Davis. Needs to be a bit brighter. Outside of his area, Crookham has this free kick for Millwall. Just 1 minute of the added on 3 still to play. Crookham goes long down the park, headed away by Kipre, nodded forward towards Ballo, shove in the back, no, not given. Egley clears to halfway. Akpom battling with Cooper. Akpom finds Burns up against Sturge, both just on the field. Burns down the right hand side for Ipswich Town, taking on Sturge. He still has it, the Welshman. Sturge has a little nibble at him. Town have won a throw in outside the Millwall area. Alex Neil very frustrated now. Thought that was going to be Wes Burns' big moment. Well, time running out. It's now or never for Ipswich Town to go on and win this game. Final 20 seconds of this match, according to my watch. It's 0-0. Darnell Furlong has a throw in outside the Millwall area. Town have thrown Kipre and O'Shea into the box off to our right. Burns is there. Akpom, Clark. Forward comes Furlong. Ball's gone into the mix. Headed up by Cooper, the captain. Nodded down by Egley. Sturge is there, and that's it. No goals this Boxing Day afternoon as Alex Neil and Kieran McKenna warmly shake hands down below us. It's a point apiece for these two teams currently in the Championship playoff places.
Well, really, really tight first half. You know, both teams evenly matched. No real great chances for either side to take a lead in the first half. And you always felt there were possibly 3 results. This is at half-time when you're thinking about the game. It was either going to go all the way to the end at 0-0, or somebody might just nick a goal and get their team a 1-0 victory. And on the evidence of most of the second half, that was Town actually who looked like they would be the team to score. You know, Millwall really had sort of run out of ideas in an attacking sense, and you just felt Millwall won't score, Town possibly might score, you know, and that stayed like that for a long time. And the changes and the initial changes that Kieran made helped his team to actually even improve further, but they couldn't get that one chance away. And then, you know, as always happens, you know, Millwall sort of broke away. They had a goal disallowed, which angered a lot of people in front of me because of the lateness of the decision, but it gave them a lift, and they possibly just finished the half fractionally better than Town, but Town really had maybe 75% of the half, so probably deserved to win in the second half and with the second half performance, but again have sort of failed to do it really, you know. So, you know, here we are with the first of, you know, 3 matches out of 4 away from home, goalless draw, 1 point, and now the biggest one of before away at Coventry to come, so it's put us in a difficult position, I think, the fact that we didn't get 3 today, but one gives any professional confidence away from home. Now what they've got to do is they've got to go to Coventry and put in an even better performance and get a result there as well. But we've had sort of 1 or 2 players that I think have done really well. I think Eggerly has sort of pretty much. We've had a day really where I must have mentioned it. Azon and McAteer have had the opportunity through circumstance to actually say what they can do or tell the manager what they can do, and I don't really think either of them really took the opportunity, and we certainly looked better down the right hand side when Eggerly came on for McAteer. And although we didn't see an awful lot of Akpom up front, what that has told me is that Hurst is the best number 9. So, you learn things, but they don't really do you much good on the day. So you wanted McAteer and certainly Azon to do better than they've done today.
Yep, well, I'll head downstairs and speak to Kieran McKenna, and hopefully an Ipswich Town player as well, which will certainly get on air before we are off on match day at 6 o'clock, talking about the fact that Ipswich Town could only manage a 0-0 draw at Millwall this afternoon.